everyone, welcome back to my channel or welcome to my channel. In this video we are going to learn about active and passive voice, and if you don't know me, I'm Ashma. But before starting the actual lesson, let's first know what is actually active and passive voice and how to use them in our sentences. First, look at these two sentences. Renu plays tennis and tennis is played by Renu. These two sentences means the same, isn't it? But there is a slight difference in their emphasis along with their forms. In sentence 1, the subject is Renu, whereas the verb is plays, and she is performing the action of playing. So this means when the subject of the verb performs the action named by the verb is said to be in active voice. But in sentence 2, the subject is tennis and the verb is played. Tennis is not performing the action of playing. In fact, it is receiving the action. This means when the subject of the verb receives the action named by the verb is said to be at passive voice. Since the sentence 1 begins with the word Renu, it emphasizes on Renu, and in sentence 2 it begins with tennis, so it emphasizes on tennis. It is more natural to use active voice. Besides, the sentence written in the active voice are very shorter and more elegant. But there are some situations where we have to use passive voice. Those are when we don't know who performs the action. For example, his pocket was picked. We don't know who picked his pocket. Second is the action is when the action is more important than who performed it. Second is when the action is more important than who performed it. For example, all schools were closed during the pandemic. Here, all schools were closed. That is more important than who closed it. And when you want to emphasize more on the person or the thing that receives the action, for example, 2 agreements were signed. Here we emphasize on 2 agreements more than who signed it, where was they signed, etc. So this makes us clear that it's very important to learn active and passive voice. Now let's get started with our today's lesson so that we can know more about the conversion of active and passive voice and their rules. So the first topic is changing sentences from active voice to the passive voice. Once again, remember those 2 sentences that I told you in the beginning. That was Renu plays tennis. Tennis is played by Renu. Note how they are changed. The active object, that was the tennis, becomes the passive subject, and the active subject became, that was the Renu, changed into the passive object, and that was followed by a preposition, that is by, that we use every time just before the active subject and the passive object. And the last thing is an appropriate verb of be, that is, has to be used followed by a past participle of the verb that was played. And 2 more things to remember is that the only transitive verbs, the verbs that are incomplete without an object and needs object to complete the sentence. For example, she ate. We don't know what she ate. There are many edible foods. These type of verbs can only be changed into passive voice. And in passive voice, we always use the past participle form of the verb. Moving to the next topic, that is personal pronouns in passive constructions. Sometimes we have a sentence that may carry personal pronouns as their subject or the object, and when we are changing them into the another voice, we have to handle these type of pronouns very carefully. Let's take examples. For example, I help my friends. My friends are held by me. By me. Me is we have changed I to me. Another example is her cousins encouraged her. She was encouraged by her cousins. Her is changed to she. Now, it may happen that in a sentence, sometimes a word may be followed by a preposition. These prepositions remain same while changing the sentence from active to passive. For example, a nurse looks after this little girl. And in passive, it would be this little girl is looked after by a nurse. After is a preposition that was followed by the word looks, and it remains same in the passive voice also. Coming to the next topic, that's interrogative sentence. If you are changing interrogative sentence to passive voice, they should remain in their interrogative form only. That means they should ask the same question even after changing. For example, am I disturbing you? Are you being disturbed by me? The sentence or the question is still asking the same question, that am I disturbing you? Is the another person disturbed by the speaker? Next example can be, when did you buy this purse? When was this purse bought by you? This is a question the speaker is still asking to the another person, when was this purse bought by you? Sometimes it may happen that the subject of a active voice is not much important to give importance to it. So we need not to mention those while expressing that sentence into passive voice. For example, somebody stole my purse. My purse was stolen. We have not mentioned by somebody because this we are not giving importance to that somebody. Or we can say that subject was not much important. As we know that every time in a grammar we have tenses. So if you haven't watched my video of tenses yet, then do go there, and the link is in the description, and watch that video. So let's start with the simple present. In active voice, there are some examples I'm trying to give you, that is showing the changes in the active voice and the passive voice. For example, she writes poems. Poems are written by her. And in interrogative, one sentence could be, do you need money? Is money needed by you? In active voice, here in this tense, active voice, the sentence in the active voice should contain a root form of the word, that is some verb with s or es, like writes, loves, or makes, etc. And in passive voice, the sentence should contain subject plus is are plus past participle of the word, that is are written, etc. These type of words, are written is the past participle of the verb that is writes. Here's a question for you all to answer me in the comments, that is, my parents loves me. Tell the passive voice of this sentence in the comments. Coming to the next tense, that is simple past. Here the active voice and passive voice are the example of these two are, a very old friend helped me. I was helped by a very old friend. Here the active voice must contain a past tense of the verb, that was helped. And in passive voice, there should be was or verb depending upon the sentence, and the past participle of the verb, that was was held. Coming to the next tense, that simple future. The example is, I will buy the tickets in advance. The tickets will be bought by me in advance. Here the active voice contains shall plus will plus root form of the verb. That is, for example, in the sentence I have used will buy. In passive voice, there should be shall be or will be plus past participle of the word, that is, will be bought. Next tense is present continuous. The example is, somebody is knocking at the door. The door is being knocked at. Here, the active voice contains is or am or are plus ing form of the word, that is knocking, and in passive voice there should be is or am or are plus been plus past participle of the word, that is being knocked. Our next tense is past continuous. The example is, the students were being decorating the class display board. The class display board was being decorated by the students. Here the active voice contains was or were plus ing form of the word, that is were decorating. Coming to the passive voice, that must contain was or were plus been plus past participle of the verb, that is was being decorated. If you are still watching my video, then I am proud of you, and I must say that if you have watched this video completely, you may have learned a lot about passive and active voice. And if you still have any doubt till whatever I have covered till now, if you have doubts in between them, then do comment me. Now let's continue with the next tense, that is present perfect. But before, I would like to tell you that the present continuous means future continuous of this here does not contains the passive form, so we are not doing that. The example of present perfect is, the match, we have won the match. The match was won by us. In these type of sentences, the active voice contains has or have plus past participle of the verb, that is have won. And the passive voice contains has, have plus been plus past participle of the verb, that is has been won. Next is past perfect. We had finished the work before the sunset. The work had been finished by us before the sunset. In this sentence, you may say that the work had been finished before sunset. By us is not important, so it's your choice whether you want to say or not. Here, the active voice consists of had plus past participle of the verb, that is had finished. And passive voice consists of had plus been plus past participle of the verb, making had been finished. Coming to our last tense of this video, that is future perfect. The example is, they will have finished the breakfast before 8. The breakfast will have been finished before 8. Here the active voice has shall or will plus have plus past participle of the verb, making this example is will have finished. And the passive voice consists of will or shall plus have been plus past participle of the verb, making will have been finished. By this, we have come to the end of this video, and I would like to tell you that I'm going to send some questions based on this topic in the community. Go and check this after watching. Go and check that after completing of this video. If you haven't subscribed my channel yet, then do subscribe. Thanks for watching me. I will